Hi.
Hi.
Okay. We're gonna be talking. We're gonna be talking about New Year's Eve creepy things, cause New Year's Eve is coming up.
Like Julian the Phantoms?
You mock me. So, I feel like a lot of us are kind of scared of things that happen to us. That might happen to us at certain events. Like New Year's Eve, where you're usually outside, being drunk and not in the right state of mind. Not us, because we're minors. But, like...
I've never had an alcohol.
And alcohol.
But I feel like... I know your parents are drunk. We're probably, not in it. And so you're probably all by yourself as, a kid. And so, if something happens, who is going to take care of it?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about, in general.
And then, say on New Year's, you were like, okay, well, since everyone's drunk and I'm bored, I'm gonna text my friend.
You're gonna text your... what? Oh.
I'm trying to segue into the story.
Well, it's called the Phantom Texter.
Yeah, this is the Phantom Texter from a Reddit user that had this creepy experience.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to do a segue, I was just talking. Anyway.
That's great.
So this user on New Year's Eve started to get text messages that said, "I'm outside." That's not that scary.
I mean, I feel like reading it's not that scary, but whenever you get texted,
I guess experiencing it, yeah.
Okay, so a while back, my my cousins decided to pull a prank on us, me and my family. And so they came over to our house and they were banging on the windows and doors and they were calling us from an anonymous number and they were oh, unlock your fingers, we need money and blah blah blah.
Oh my god.
And obviously it doesn't sound that scary now, but in the moment my sister was crying, she was bawling. I was Madison, if they kill us, they kill us. I don't know what to tell you. It's pretty scary in the moment.
I mean, okay, look, it gets scarier. It says that the texter was claiming to be inside the house watching them and his friends, and then as they started driving, the texter started describing their car and saying, "Oh, I'm watching you drive," and all that stuff.
And then it says J.
Yeah, that's their Reddit use. That's their Reddit thing.
It's really funny.
Yeah. And then it says that when people tried to call it, the message wasn't a working phone number.
That's weird.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily just a random person texting them. It's kind of creepy, maybe.
Whenever they start going into details, it's supposed to be about your car, because your car is driving.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to get details unless you
detail
have
on
seen it,
what car you're driving and saying as they're driving. That's a big coincidence.
But it could be their friend or something.
Yeah, it could be, because isn't there necessarily a way?
Of Supernatural with the phone number that was centuries old.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I don't know what you're talking about. I just know the one where they got a call from a loved family member that died.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Isn't there a way to make it your phone not work whenever you call? Because I know that sometimes my brother's phone does that when you call him.
Well, sometimes whenever they're off.
Yeah.
Completely off, they do that.
A lot of it, I have to call him on Discord most of the time because he doesn't answer his phone. So I just use the Discord app and he answers.
Funny.
Yeah.
So our next story
The Peeping Tom. Oops.
Called The Peeping Tom. The Peeping Tom. Okay. I feel this ties into being scared. Yeah. Okay, anyway, we'll get to that. But I feel a lot of people, this ties into, being scared of, with windows at night.
Yeah.
It's just, scary to not know it's, outside and if the window's open, anything could, come up and, pop up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really scary, but also the idea of, so this story, if you don't know what a peeping Tom is, basically there are these people who spy into people's, houses and their windows, and they jack off.
Yeah.
To that. And that's apparently what happened to these people in these... What is it? So only a peeping Tom was in the buff with a sock covering his genitals and wearing a Ronald Reagan mask. Yeah, but I feel like that's like just like after a while, like even though it's funny, like from like afar, I feel like that'd feel like such an invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
Like you'd feel like someone was like always watching.
I would hate that so much.
Yeah, like
I'm glad I have curtains.
Yeah, I feel like it's like traumatizing. Like it's funny to hear about, but I feel like actually like experiencing that would be very scary and like traumatizing.
Okay, completely like off topic, but last night Aubrey, like there was a possum on the back of our fence, and we didn't realize, and we let Aubrey out, and she was just like going crazy, like barking, like like pant. It was really funny. Like she was trying to get to it, and the possum was just like, "You can't touch me."
Yeah,
like, it was really funny. Okay, anyways, back to the
What's that thing on your computer?
this,
No, the chain.
this,
The chain.
The puzzle piece. Oh,
this.
the chain.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
necklace.
I'm gonna wear it. Get over. Oh, there's a rose on it. It's so pretty.
Yeah, it like opens. You can't fit it over. Okay, next story. I don't know. I don't think that's really name for it.
Oh, of course it's a Florida man. So this one's called Channeling Norman Bates. I really don't know who
is that? Let's search
I'll look
it
him
up.
up. Okay.
Yeah, who's Norman Bates? Norman Bates. A fictional character created by whatever. He was just like the main
he's from Psycho.
antagonist.
He's a crazy dude, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it's just saying that, like, oh, what? It says, a Florida man who told police he was angry with his mother used an axe to decapitate her on New Year's Eve.
Oh my god.
That's horrible.
The creepiest part is that the mugshot taken after the man was arrested. In the photo, he's smiling like one would for childhood school pictures.
Oh my god.
That's... Oh, what the heck?
Well, one of my, like, aunt's neighbors, actually, like, the people who live behind her house. Well, so basically, like, one night they were smelling, like, something smelled really weird. And they didn't know what it was.
Was it burning people?
Yeah.
I was
So
joking.
apparently, no, like, genuinely, the people behind them who, like, live there, they were, like, high or something, or, like, drunk or something. And so this dude, he got mad at his girlfriend. So he killed her and, like, cut her up into pieces and was, like, burning her alive. And they were like, what is this smell? And it was literally, like, burning flesh. And that's, like, ugh.
Oh my god, that's so gross.
Yeah, and, like, no, it's, like, my number one fear when someone's, like, murdered.
You went like
What?
You went like that when you grabbed it. It was
Why are
really
you
weird.
make everything creepy?
No, I'm not trying to make it creepy. It's just the way I noticed you did it.
Yeah, but...
Anyways, next story. The Lady in White. I feel like there's a lot of stories called Lady in White or Lady in Red. Just Lady in whatever. Okay.
So apparently, like, this person had an experience where having, like, a stranger came up to their house, and so they were like, oh, like, you know, come in, because, like, we're not just gonna leave a random lady.
That's not what it's about.
Yeah, but it says that at the beginning, you know? But they said that, like, after an unexpected guest materialized out of nowhere at their New Year's Eve party, even though all the doors were locked, and no one let her in. And upon leaving the party, she dropped 2 scarves on the doorstep, and nobody knows how she got in. And, you know, them and their mom were freaking out because, like, you know...
They think it's a symbol or, like,
Yeah.
a sign of something.
'Cause that's not normal.
And then they said that their cousin saw the woman in their dreams a few nights later, but no one ever saw her again.
I really wonder what those things mean. Like,
I don't know.
What does that signify? Especially, like,
Maybe it was like
appearing in the dream.
Maybe it was like an ancestor.
Maybe. But, like, appearing in the dream, like, a few nights later and then never seeing them again is weird.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it's like totally normal.
I mean,
It's totally
technically, it could be normal because you've had, like, this experience and, like, you're subconsciously thinking about it and then you dream about it.
Yeah.
Like, it could not mean anything, but it's still very strange how she showed up out of nowhere.
And, like, everyone saw her, too.
Yeah, and, like, no one let her in.
Yeah,
And then the
weird.
scarves.
Yeah, I wonder what did they keep the scarves? Like,
I don't
what
know.
do they do
I
with
wouldn't.
them?
I wouldn't want to touch them.
I would, like, be freaked
I'd throw them
out.
away. I don't know what I'd do, honestly.
Oh my god, according to the website Wattpad,
So this next one is called Holiday Haunting. Wait, what?
It's not real?
Because it's made by Wattpad.
Where does it say that?
It says, according to the website Wattpad. So apparently this person posted on Wattpad what happened to them on New Year's Eve.
So I don't even know if that's
true. So it said,
true.
one woman had an unwelcomed guest on New Year's Eve. Once she could hear but not see, the trouble began when things started disappearing. The woman and her boyfriend kept losing items they were using, only to have them reappear a few minutes later. You know...
It just means you're losing
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like that's, like, a thing that's normal. You know? Like, oh, I lost something, and a few minutes later, I find it again. I feel like that happens to me all the time.
And they said they heard someone yelling "right" in a response to a comment to try and join in the conversation.
What did they guess?
And then I said eventually every single person at the, like, New Year's party heard someone coughing in the bathroom, but there was no one there.
I feel like that's funny. I like the idea of, like, ghosts communicating with each other and just, like, having conversations and, like, just, like, making fun of the humans. Like, I feel like that's really funny. That's literally a Stranger Things gif.
Yes.
So, this next one's called Scary Noises in the Woods.
Listen, I don't like the woods. They're creepy.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's just, like, the scariness of, like, the unknown.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, people don't like the dark because it's, like, you can't see and you don't know what's there. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's kind of, like, the same thing as, like, you don't know what's in there. And the forest is so deep that it's, like, there's no way you can know what's in there. And then this person said that they went camping. And they heard the noise of someone or something screaming and began to terrify the group.
Oh, my God.
And this one references Stranger Things, and I don't know why, but it says the user was so scared that they abandoned their friends and left a note behind so their friends would know that they had been eaten by a monster but had just gotten scared and gone home. I feel like that's something you would do.
Yes,
it
like, is.
Sorry, guys,
I
didn't die.
100% true. I'd be like, I heard this creepy noise. Y'all are asleep. I'm just gonna drive home. Like, bye.
Yeah.
Fucking cad.
So it said, oh my gosh, so the user wrote, you don't know what true vulnerability is until you're on the outskirts of the woods in a tent with 3 lives in your hands while some paranormal creature is hunting you,
obviously they're not your hands because you left their asses.
Said, I sat there in silence around 6 a.m. when I was certain it had stopped. And I couldn't take it anymore. The damn thing had driven me insane. My work there was as done as I was certain it was gone.
Oh my god, her username is sarcastic bitchy wolf.
Kind of unrelated, kind of not. I was watching, I think it was this documentary about people that had gone missing in, like, this certain area of, like, some state. I don't remember where it was. And, like, there was no explanation for how they'd gone missing. And they kind of, like, I don't know if they thought it was, like, some paranormal thing or just someone who, like, committed a series of murders or, like, whatever. But they referenced, like, this not hidden, but there's, like, a secret camp type thing that was, like, a private closed off thing that only these certain people had, like, access to. And whenever they go camping there, they created, like, this, like, tent place out of, like, the wood, surrounded some trees or whatever, and they recorded it. Like, this was years ago, so the camera quality and, like, everything was really crappy, but they were hearing really strange noises. Like, they didn't sound human, and they sounded like two creatures, like, communicating with each other. Mm-hmm. And it was, like, I think it was real, just because it was such an old video, and the people, like, I don't want to, like, shame on older people, but they were older, so they probably didn't necessarily know how to edit something like that.
Yeah.
Unless they paid, but I highly doubt it, you know what I mean? And it was just really creepy, because there was, like, a solid, like, 2 minutes of this noise that they were recording in, like, the dead of the night. It was really weird, and I don't know, they said it almost seemed like they were taunting them. That's what it felt like.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, let's jokingly communicate with each other
and
make fun of the humans.
It was really weird.
So why did they do this on New Year's Eve? Oh, wait, the people that you were talking about did. I was like, wait, why are they doing that on New Year's?
That was just for a documentary.
Yeah. I also feel like, oh my god, it's so stupid. You know, like, the show Survivor? I feel like you know, I could never be on that because there's people around you, like, everywhere. And if I heard something at night, it could literally be someone. It could be, like, the camera crew, but I would get so freaked out.
Yeah.
Because it's just people, like, moving, and then there's areas that you can't go into because that's, like, where the camera people are and stuff like that in production. And I would get so terrified because I would just hear people moving and you can't go back there to check what it is.
I just go back there anyways and be like, sorry, I'm done. I'm leaving.
I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
You gotta let me out.
You're like, I'm too scared.
I don't want to do this.
Like, I don't care. I don't want the money. I just want to go home.
I won't take the $1 million. I just want to be at my house with my dog. Yeah, what's this one called? This next story.
And then the zombies came.
So,
oh my god.
You can see the AMC tag on the GIF.
So apparently, this person had too much to drink, and they claimed, despite partying until around 2:30 a.m. on New Year's Eve, the not quite human creature they and a friend encountered was real.
Something that looked like a naked person but wasn't quite human waddled down the street towards us. It moved as though it were half squatting, and because of this, its hands dragged along the ground as they hung limp at its sides. That's creepy.
I hate things like that.
I couldn't make out its face, and Max told me later that he couldn't either. It was also making a throaty gurgling noise as if it was almost choking on something. Ugh.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
weird. I don't like that.
See, like, I don't know. I feel like that's more creepy to me than, like,
That
basically
is.
anything. I hate things like that. Because
My
I don't...
nose is so itchy. I'm sorry. It's my piercing. It's just irritated because I haven't washed it today.
Oh. But, like, I feel like even if, like, I don't know. Even if... I don't think it's zombies.
No.
I feel like it's something else. And that's what I hate, is the fact that I don't know what it is. And it's eerily similar to humans, but it's not a human.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying. That's why I hate, like, movies that play into, like, the uncanny valley thing, because it's just so creepy to me and I hate it.
I was watching this movie. I don't even remember what it was called. I think it was called Come Play, and, like, it was supposed to be scary, and it kind of was, just because of, like, the creature or whatever. But also, like, the storyline wasn't necessarily creepy. Because it was, like, this whole thing of this creature just really, really, really just wanted a friend. Like, he was just coming about it in a really bad way.
Yeah.
And so he was trying to get, like, this autistic kid to come be his friend and all of that. And so the mom of the kid was like, okay, well, I don't want you to take my son, so I'll come be your friend. And, like, it wasn't necessarily scary, but it was just kind of sad because he was just so lonely. And then at the end, you see, like, what is it? The mom that's, like, a ghost, like, spinning around her kid. It was really, I don't even know. It was really kind of weird, but,
Yeah,
like, it was creepy at first, but now it's just, like, sad.
See, the one movie that I saw that kind of played into, like, the uncanny valley type thing was, like, I'm pretty sure I've told you guys about this. It was this movie that I watched called, like, It Follows, and it's about this, like, sexually transmitted demon.
Oh, I think,
it's very weird, and it, like, followed you until it could catch you and, like, kill you. And the thing is that, like, so they just, like, have sex with someone and go on to the next person, but you couldn't let it kill you, or else it would just go back to the old person that it had until it, like, wiped out all of them. And what I hated about it is that usually it took the form of humans, and I hated that. Like, the first time we saw it, it was, like, a grandma. And I was like, ugh, I just didn't like it. It just freaked me out.
not horror stories. It's just dumb stuff.
Delete if not allowed.
Oh, okay. This is a whole Reddit story.
Oh my gosh.
So I'll read it.
I'm scared of Reddit stories because I feel like people on Reddit are either fucking with you or they're, like, definitely telling the truth.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what... Oh,
So
no, this isn't real.
Oh, it's not?
No. Creepypasta.
No, it says the New Year's Eve haunting. True story.
Oh, true
Delete
story?
not allowed.
Okay, so it's true, but they are saying if it's not, like, true stories aren't allowed, I'll delete it.
Oh.
I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
So this one's called the New Year's Eve haunting.
So when I was around 12, I spent New Year's Eve at my friend's house whilst our parents went out to a restaurant in a nearby town. The house was old and pretty isolated, and to be honest, scared the crap out of me. You had to drive up a long, overgrown track to reach it. A lot of my other friends at school would say the house was haunted, and it was actually featured in a ghost book, if I remember right. So anyways, we were sat downstairs in the lounge watching some TV and heard the loudest crashing sound. I still remember the look in my friend's eyes when we turned to each other in shock. It took us a while to get up and actually go and investigate what the sound was. We crept out of the lounge down the hallway to the rest of the house. The crashing sounded like it came from upstairs, so we headed up to check it out. When we got to the top of the stairs, there was a breeze coming from somewhere. It was cold, like ice cold. We moved down the hallway upstairs toward the wind and turned to go down another corridor. Bear in mind this house was massive. Honestly, it wasn't near enough a mansion from the early 1920s. At the end of the corridor was his mom and dad's bedroom. The door was moving back and forward slowly. We both stopped and just stood still, frozen, not saying a word to each other. After a moment, my friend walked towards the door. I was still frozen in fear and I fell behind a little. As he pushed the door open and snuck into the room, the darkness consumed him. I could barely make out his silhouette. There was perfect silence for a couple of seconds before I heard him let out the most terrifying scream. My adrenaline kicked in and I ran towards the room to see what had happened. I searched for the light and turned it on. He stood frozen, stiff, and pale, just staring into an empty corner of the room. Just to the side of him was a massive antique mirror that was smashed into pieces and scattered all over the floor. I placed my arm on his shoulder and asked him if he was okay. She broke the mirror. I asked him who broke it, and he said, "The woman in the corner, she told me." And at that point, I was honestly like, fuck this, and told him we should leave. He turned to leave with me. Just before we did, I wanted to check the mirror, surely the wire had broken or something, I thought to myself. I bent down to the mirror and turned it over. The string that was holding it to the wall was intact. It hadn't snapped. I looked at the wall, the nail was still firmly fixed in the wall. At that point, I was so terrified I told him to ring his parents and tell them to come home. We waited outside of the front door until our parents arrived back from the restaurant. My dad and his went straight up to the bedroom to check it out when they arrived and saw the broken mirror. They sort of pushed it off and said we were up to no good and playing a game that got out of hand. After that night, my friend never really spoke about it to me. The worst part, recently, I'm 24 now, I was having a general chat with my mom and his new year is coming up. That night came up. I told her about it and she said, "I believe you. Your friend's mom told me a few days after that night that she had seen a woman in her room telling her to leave the house. It honestly sent my whole body tingling and I had flashbacks to that night, although it's coming up to almost 12 years ago now."
Nasty.
I wonder why she broke the mirror.
I don't know. Maybe she was connected to it in some way?
Maybe, but it says that she obviously wanted them to leave the house, but like, why did she break
It was a
the
warning.
mirror? Oh, to be like, I'm real, don't try and say that I'm not,
Yeah.
you know? This actually reminded me, I don't know why it reminded me of this, but it reminded me of this story that, like, my cousin told me. So, whenever I was younger, like, my cousins, they used to live in Virginia, and so we went to go visit them in Virginia whenever I was, like, in first grade. And so I was, like, young, and I was very scared of paranormal things at that time. And, of course, they wanted to mess with us, because my cousins were, like, older, and they had a Oujia board. And they didn't have the planchette, but they had, like, this, like, plastic cup, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's spelling out your name," and stuff like that. And so, a couple of years later, or, like, fast forward to, like, now, like, in, like, July, we're in Colorado. And whenever we were in Colorado, me, my sister, and my two cousins, we would just, like, sit outside. We would just talk. And my sister, like, brought up how we played with the Oujia board, like, at, like, you know, like,
yeah,
his house. And I was talking about it with, like my cousins, because I was like, yeah, it was kind of a weird experience. And then she was talking about how whenever she used to live in Virginia, she brought that Oujia board that she had to, like, her friend's house, and they were, like, messing with it. And then they had something, like, weird happen on the Oujia board. I can't remember exactly what. And then, so they left the room. They were like, "We're just going to leave it." And they left it on this table. And they left the planchette on it. Well, I actually asked them afterwards if she left the planchette on. She was like, "Yeah, we did, like we didn't really care." And so they left it on there. And so they walk into, like, the, like, kitchen or something, and they just hear, like, crashing.
Oh my god.
And they just see the planchette, like, thrown across the floor. And, you know, like, I like to think that my cousin is trying to, like, mess with me. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I'm, 15. She's, like, 18. Yeah. I don't know if she's trying to scare me or not. I don't think she's trying to scare me. I'm a little bit too old to be, like, freaked out by that.
I feel like it kind of sounds real just because you had told her your experience, and now she's telling you hers.
Yeah, and, like, obviously, like, it definitely, she could be messing with me, but she seemed very serious about it. And she seemed very, like, because she, like, obviously I wasn't freaked out by it, and she wasn't, like, oh, like, trying to, like, make me seem freaked out or anything like that, so I know she wasn't trying to mess with me. And so basically it was her Ouija board, but she asked her friend, she was like, can I please leave it at your house? Because, like, I can't deal with this. Like, I can't do that. And I don't know what they did with that Ouija board, but... I think
this is fake.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is.
How can you tell?
It was like a stories thing at the top.
Yeah.
Toast with the ghost.
But then my cousin was like, I want to play the Ouija board with you because I feel like something would happen. Not like something, but like, you know.
Just curious.
I don't know. Like, I feel like she enjoys paranormal stuff like that. But like, you know. I don't know. I think it would be fun to play with her, but I think she would take it kind of seriously. But I feel like she'd want to mess around. I don't know how to explain it.
Whenever you take things seriously, it doesn't become fun anymore.
The thing with the Ouija board is that you do need to take it kind of seriously, because, like, even if you don't believe in ghosts, you never know. Like, something could literally, like, happen and it would be really bad. But, like, also, if you're super serious about it, you're not gonna have happen with the you're intending to with the Ouija board. Because usually whenever you play in the Ouija board, you're like, oh, you're gonna talk to some spirits. But if you're, you know, putting salt circles around and literally taking every precaution possible and, you know, crying whenever, like, anything happens, like, obviously you're not gonna have that much fun.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I find it very funny how you slept through, like, the entire thing. At the sleepover.
I was so bored because you guys are freaking out so much over, like, a fucking Ouija board.
I was literally the only person who wasn't freaking out. And they were all like, oh, I closed my eyes and I saw, like, I saw a car crash. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you guys talking about?
I was just kind of sitting there. I was like, I'm just gonna let it happen.
And then whenever we were, like, talking with my cousin, she was like, did your cousin experience self-harm? And I was like, no. What? She did not. Like, my dad, I was like, I don't think she did. Like, what do you mean?
What does that have to do with anything?
Because apparently Jennifer, like, felt like tingling on her arm.
Oh.
And I was like, I mean, maybe because, like, my cousin was apparently, like, a heroin addict. And that's, like, the whole reason why she got into the mess. And that's why she was, like, murdered.
I mean, that kind of makes sense.
But, like, you know. Yeah, it makes sense, but, like, it was just, like, did your cousin experience self-harm? I'm like, no.
Oh, my gosh.
And then, like, it's so weird because everyone was, like, huddling underneath that blanket that my grandma got me. And then they were like, it feels nice. And I remember, like, in, like, world history, Jennifer was like, it feels like your grandma. Like, specifically your grandma. And she's like, well, grandma. I was like, no, that's my grandma's blanket. Like, I don't think you understand.
Yeah, that is, I don't know. That's very weird.
Especially, like, my quilt, like, my blanket.
You stole my
grandma.
necklace and you put it on.
That's my necklace. I paid for it.
I was wearing it.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, but, like, especially with that quilt, I really don't know what's up with that quilt. Because I don't sleep well without it.
This is, like, such a bad podcast. We're, like, talking about
we're just talking about creepy things.
And I'm like, my cousin died. Also, my grandma's quilt. Very,
my grandma's
very weird.
quilt.
And I don't know. Something about that quilt, I just, like, can't sleep without it, really. It at least has to be, like, in my room.
Is your grandma dead?
Yes.
Maybe it's just a comfort thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. But, like, everyone's like, oh, it feels comforting. And it's just weird.
Maybe, like, it was your grandma. So maybe it kind of smells like her, I guess. I don't know how to explain it.
Maybe. But also, it could just be, like, I don't know. I know my grandma was very, like... My grandma actually told me, she said that she was going to leave, like, dimes for us.
Really?
Yeah, so, like, she said whenever she died, because what her mom did to her is her mom said that she was going to leave her dimes, and so she was like, I'm going to leave you guys dimes. And I didn't know this until, like last week, whenever because my parents said that they found, like, a dime in the middle of their hotel room. And really weird, and I was like, okay, and then they're like, no, like, she told us that she was going to leave dimes. It was very odd. It was, like, my aunt, my dad, and my, you know, mom.
Yeah, that's weird that they were all together.
Yeah, and, like, you know, her 2 kids, and, like, you know, it's weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then, like, it was, like, bought by, like, my uncle, you know? I don't know. It's kind of weird.
That is strange. I can't find anything else.
Well, I don't know what else we're going to talk about. We talk about our Ouija board experience, but, like...
Which one?
I feel like our Ouija board experiences weren't very...
They're not necessarily scary.
They're not scary. They're just kind of, like, weird.
Yeah, strange, unsettling.
Well, the thing is that it was never as powerful without me on it.
Yeah.
That was me.
That was the
Like,
bed.
it was really weird, and I was like, I'm gonna look so weird if, like, I take all my hands off and then, like, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look like I'm moving it, but I wasn't. And I know how, like, the Ouija board is supposedly supposed to work, but, like, if you feel it, it's so weird, like, how it moves.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very open to, like, ideas of, like, it could just be, like, my subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm very open. I'm like, what is that idea? I'm also open to the idea that it, like, could be a ghost. I don't really care, to be honest, as long as, you know, it doesn't, like, tell me the exact date I'm gonna die or something like that, because that's, but I don't know.
I don't know either. Like, I feel like a lot of our stuff, not necessarily, like, I don't think it's real, necessarily. Like, I believe it can be.
Yeah.
But I don't think the stuff we went through was real, because I think we were just, like, manifesting it after a certain point. Maybe at first, but after a certain point, it's just, like,
But the thing is that, like, I wasn't scared, yet it worked the best with me, and I don't know how that would play into it.
I don't know.
Because, like, they were very terrified, but it didn't really work that well with them.
Like, I was scared, but I didn't want... I wasn't messing with it.
But, like, the thing is that if you, like, saw how it moved, like, without me, it seemed, like, heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And, like,
I saw how it moved. Like, it wasn't smooth.
Yeah, but whenever I put my hands on it, it was very smooth, and I really don't know why it was.
Yeah, because, like, whenever it would move with them, it kind of, like, stopped in some places.
It was really weird.
Yeah. It almost seemed as if they were moving it when they did, when it was like that. Like, they were trying to push it, but it was, like, getting stuck.
And then I was talking with Alex, and Alex was like, you just attract things. And I was like, what?
I don't think that's
talking
true.
About? That seems scary.
That is. I don't think that's true.
I think families do that.
What?
Oh, it's like a luck thing, you know?
Luck
like, my
Ouija
family...
boards?
No, like... my family just never runs into that shit, and you guys always do.
I've never run into it.
My family doesn't run into it either.
You see, my parents, they haven't run into anything since Devin and I have been born. So. Since. Like, they've had stuff before that, but, like, after we were born, they've never had anything.
I've never had, like, any ghost experiences. All my ghost experiences happen whenever I'm, like...
You're like that dude with bees.
What does that mean? Like, my ghost experience...
Victorious.
Oh. Like, I want the bee to sting me so bad, which is what happened. But, like, I feel like the only ghost experience that I've had was, like, with the Ouija board and me being, like, terrified of ghosts whenever I was younger, even though it literally never happened. Like, nothing ever happened. And, like, the thing with, like, the moving around in my attic, like, I realized that could definitely, like, just be something random, but I don't know what it is. And that's what freaks me out. Because if we have, like, squirrels in the attic, I need to tell my mom so she can get rid of them. But, like, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
What else are we going to talk about?
I don't know. How long is this? It's already, like, 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Okay, bye.
This is so boring.
Bye. I was just talking about my cousin for, like, half of it. I'm just like, oh, the Ouija board.
My cousin had a Ouija board.
No, but I don't know. I should probably play the Ouija board with my cousin. I think that would be enjoyable. Anyway, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.